Okay, so remember that they're changing my voice. Okay, so remember that they are changing my voice. I am not gay. Okay, so remember, I am not gay. They're changing my voice because certain groups of people are jealous, okay? And they're white supremacists, they're Jewish supremacists, they're LGBT supremacists. They don't like the idea of the sun as a heterosexual symbol and how it connects to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. And when you hear this, you should know that I'm right, okay? There's a lot of people who are white people with lots of money, and there's middle-class white people, and they want to pretend that their version of Christianity or whatever is magically fair to everybody, but it's not, okay? If you cheat someone out of their rightful place, you're doing them wrong. If somebody won an Olympic race, for example, and you didn't give them a gold medal, instead you gave it to someone else and said, hey, we're all equal, or you didn't give anyone any medals, you're cheating that person. Big time. Now imagine if you're the top martial artist ever possible. Imagine the disgrace of people who cheated me. That's their inheritance, that's their family's marriages, that's their offspring's flow, their spiritual state, their vibrational state, that's their energy, that's the heart, that's what they're capable of, that's who they are, that's the boundaries that they've accepted as a culture, as families, as people, what have you. Okay, so they're jealous. And what they did was a mistake. And it's a huge mistake, and it's irreversible. I'm now 42, almost 30, almost 43. Okay. And when I was younger, in my 30s, maybe 34 or so, when I used to go to Santa Cruz, there was this place called Westcliff. They're still there. And the sun would rise in the morning. I go in the morning. You know, I'm an early bird, right? You know, I get up in the morning. And the sun would shine through my window, and I brought this up back then, right? My car window. And I drove a Mitsubishi Eclipse back then, right? I played love songs on the way there and so on and so forth. And so I'd get there and I'd park, and the sun would come up at a certain time. There'd be a certain breeze. I'd see the ocean, you know, the waves crashing on the beach by Westcliff. I'd park in different places. There's a bunch of different places to park. And the sun would hit my white gi a certain way. It hit my white, I have this white kind of beanie I'd wear with the gi. It'd say Cali on it, right? And it was for California. I don't worship the deity Cali, what have you. It went with the gi well. I really liked the gi. It reminded me of a gi that Bruce Lee wore in some of his movies, but it looked better on me than his gis look like on him, right? I looked like the most handsome person ever. So when the sunlight would come through the window when I was younger, I was like, man, it's a shame that they're suppressing my videos because I look so divine. I'd see myself in the mirror, I'd see myself in the videos before they edit them, and they try to make it so I look like a Jew, so I look weird and funny. I looked so divine, there's no words for it. And I tried with different, you know, colored beanies on, different, you know, with hooded sweater. Nothing was like the white gi I used to wear and the Cali beanie that matched it. I mean, it was just something else. And I was convinced at that time that the reason why the Pharaoh wore the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red crown of Lower Egypt is because off the white crown, the sun would reflect a certain way. I said, that's a part of this, right? That's a part of being the Skywalker. It kind of reveals who you are. So you could see this divine glow. I'm sure that if I went there, it would still be there to some degree, but it wouldn't be the same. Okay, you have to kind of see it in its true form. You have to be there to see it, right? And it was just unbelievable. And it was, you know, reminds me of Proverbs 4:18, where it says, the path of the righteous like the morning sun shining ever brighter to the full light of day. So you got to think about what kind of females, what kind of society, what kind of planet didn't want people to see this on national TV, in person. What kind of planet didn't want the most righteous person ever telling the truth about God? Instead, they threw gay fits, wanting me to be gay. They threw fits, wanting me to be whitewashed. They wanted me to, you know, pretend that Jews were magically chosen and superior. What they were doing was so petty. I'm just astounded that in a life that is short, where these people are going to die and they're going to pass their heritage to their offspring, that they made such a stupid and pitiful and worm-like mistake. And there was no chastising him enough for it. And that's just that part of it. There's people being drugged all over the place, starving all over the world, dying. Maybe sometime in the future they won't believe what has happened here. There's 9 million people starving to death every year, according to the United Nations website. I've posted videos about that many times. And it's just crazy how indifferent these people are, how evil, how God gave them the most righteous person ever to lead them to God and to make them better. And they just wanted their kids to be less than Adam's family. They want them to be rockers and emos and jocks and populars and greedy corporate people and hypocrites in the churches, mosques, and synagogues. There's just no care for anything but their selfishness and their desire to express their jealousy. I mean, that is sick. And we're not talking about people who are severely retarded in the traditional sense, right? It was just sheer greed. There was nothing about their brain function that suggests that they're incapable of correcting the mistake. They chose in a conscious and calculated manner as groups to indulge their jealousy and greed. I mean, unbelievable. So when we look at these scriptures that I post about the sun, right? The power of the sun in his right hand, right? The splendor of the sunrise in his right hand. Okay? The path of the righteous like the morning sun, the bridegroom, right? The champion of God, the top martial arts. The sun is the symbol of the bridegrooms, the top martial arts ever possible. Psalm 19, when you analyze it carefully and you compare it to Psalm 18 and other scriptures, God trains my hands for battle. The sun order, the martial art order, the hawk as a symbol of wisdom. The Royal African Falcon martial order. The falcon is like a hawk, but it flies faster. It's more surgical, light speed, God speed, fasting. Surgical strikes, surge, right? Surging forward, a surge of the Spirit of God. And we see that just the failure of humanity. The failure of humanity to have humanity. I mean, they overkill that they're sealing their offspring in hell. And when we look at the wordplay, it lines right up. It lines right up. The word bread, be red. Right? Red, the color of evil. If you don't believe it, well, live. Spelled backwards is evil. It's not even, a confusing anagram. It's just straight up spelled backwards. The word live is evil. In Isaiah 57, it says, the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Their plan for generations was to seal their offspring in hell, and that wasn't enough. They decided to persecute me and do immature things my whole life. Okay? And to suppress me. You know, I've been kind of hesitating to say this, but I'm going to say this in this video. They've done things to make it so my skin looks like an older person's skin, even though I'm 42, and Nigerians are known for having this good skin, this very potent skin, this kind of indigenous skin in a more kind of potent and strong kind of warrior form. And so part of my skin is like turning whitish. But you can still tell by my feet, my hands, my lips, you can tell that I'm naturally a black person, right? My dad's Nigerian. There's strong features. But to like mock black people, they made it so I'm discolored to certain degrees. And it's not from not getting enough sun. That's not the problem. Okay, I walk around with my shirt off quite often, even though I'm not in great shape from all the fuming and poisoning. You can still tell it's me. You can still tell that I'm the top martial arts ever possible. You can still tell that they left me alone long enough. Nobody could beat me at sparring, not even close. But what they've done is so pitiful. They're so jealous and petty. Okay, witches in popular culture in the cartoons nowhere near come close to how petty they are. Why on earth did they do that? Why did they ruin the looks of women? Why did they prevent people from seeing the top martial artists doing martial arts with the sun reflecting off them, projecting the Spirit of God in a way that they could never do? And because they're so racist, I'm going to say it like this. I'm not racist, but I have to say it like this because of what they've done. In a way that whites, Jews, and LGBT people could never, ever, ever, ever do because of the heritage of colonialism, because of the generational ill-gotten gains that they've embraced. And again, I'm part white, I'm not racist. But when you take it there, it demands a proportional response. And not just my words, the fact that God has taken note of the just response that I'm giving to have to chastise your groups because of your extreme hatred for yourselves and your groups and for me and for God. And then you get crushed spiritually, just crushed. Just your marriages are worth nothing. Your offspring's marriage is nothing. Nothing worthwhile for them. Nothing. They're just destroyed, just like the Bible says, right? Nothing to be called a kingdom, right? They're spiritually plundered, romantically plundered, mental weakness, weaklings, abominations. The offspring of the prostitute and the beast. Why did you do this to yourselves and your offspring? Why couldn't you at least leave me alone? Why are you so fucking stupid? So fucking stupid.